What's going on? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Tech Productions. Today, Bankrupt joined once again by Fluff, Jake, and Nick.
What's up, people?
What's going on, yo?
Howdy, howdy.
And today we're going to go over stuff because there's stuff to talk about. And we're also 1 week away from Gen Con. So if you guys are going out there, say hi if you see us. That's it. All right. This week for videos for sure, just kind of get out of the way, is going to be, I recall, Soul Striker, it's a variant that Jake has, taking on Goku Black. And then it will be AOD taking on Set 2021, which is kind of like a rematch that we've had before. It's me and Tracy again. And speaking of rematches, me and Nick had our third fight finally this past weekend. Gohan taking on AOD, and it came down to a $70 card and not having one more negate.
But who has what? Find out next time.
Yeah.
AOD runs a card that's $70.
Yeah, I didn't win that match. I'm not going to talk about which round it was because obviously I am in the recording later. But oh man, that was a fun match.
Homie got his ass beat by Dormant.
Good old Green. Green's not good. All right. We've had new cards kind of be releasing, which is pretty cool. And it looks like we're getting finally put back into a multicolor format, which I like. Seeing these leaders again, I think they're very nice. And we finally got the championship cards release. Also, we had the Z cards release, which kind of brings life back to older decks. Now, I don't know if these are going to be 100% worth playing or not, but I do like seeing this approach. I do like the support to older decks, even if it's just a card or two here and there. Like we saw what happens when they bring 3 cards for SSG Trunks, and that deck all of a sudden blows up and does fantastic now.
Yeah.
The 5 cards we've gotten for kind of like helping fix, or just help, not, I don't say fix, to bring life to older decks. His final confirmation, a threat in an order, a gourmet battle, energy absorption, and body and soul 10 times Kamehameha, which is obviously the U7 deck. Blue Red Ribbon Army. I'm assuming it's Champa or Beerus, so it just technically takes care of 2 decks. Yellow Super 17, which I'm excited for, and then the Xeno SS4 Goku.
Yeah.
Which these decks, I think 2 of these decks at one period in time was really like good. The other ones were okay. So, what do you guys think about getting these cards?
Personally, I'm excited for the final confrontation just because I enjoy playing that 17 deck. I can't really read the text on the images, so I don't know what it does, but if it
it's actually Goku U7.
Oh.
That's what it's for. So when your red Son Goku card with an energy cost of 8 is removed from a battle area by an opponent's skill, play up to 1 something Frieza. This is the Unison, the Frieza and Android 17 Battle Mind tag team from your drop with 1 marker on it. Then remove this card from the game. Auto at the end of your turn. Sorry, go on.
This is for the Milk Goku deck.
Yes, it is.
It's not for the Invoker 17 strategy.
No.
That's what I'm learning after him reading it. Never mind.
But
I don't care about any of these.
the second
as someone who plays U7, sorry, just a little interruption. That doesn't seem good. I mean, most U7 lists, and I played that deck initially when it came out too. They were either running 3-drop unisons like Baby or Jiren, or they weren't running unisons at all. So I don't know if that. I mean, granted, free playing the Frieza and 17 unison free playing is not bad, but I don't know if that's worth it, honestly. Granted, it can be free technically, but I don't think it's worth running that unison.
So the other parts of this card, I think, actually is a little bit better though. At the end of your turn, choose one of your red universe 7 cards, switch it to active mode. Then that card gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. And then there's activate main, is if your leader is Son Goku Supreme Warrior, and you have 4 more energy, reduce the cost of activate mains on Son Goku Ultra Masteries in your hand by 1 red for the turn.
So that makes him a 2 cost to play instead of a 3 cost.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And
that part of it's not bad.
And if you can't kill your opponent at turn, you just give that card blocker because you choose any mono red U7 card. And that from point on, if your opponent swings a big card, you have a protection from it. And if your opponent removes it, you get to play Unison, which I feel like the Unison does additional negging or something. But yeah, like I do agree. I don't know if the Unison's 100% the best play, but I can't remember what it does all in all. The threat in an order for Blue Ribbon Army, I'm iffy on this card. So if your leader is Red Ribbon Army Robot, and you have 3 or more energy, and it's your turn, your Blue Ribbon Army cards gain plus 5,000 power, which is great. It's a permanent. That's awesome. But the auto is at the end of your turn, you may place all of your Red Ribbon Army cards into your drop. If you do something, any cards removed from this. Sorry, if you do place any cards, remove this card from the game, and then activate main for 1 blue energy. Is that you place 1 card from your hand to the top of your deck, play up to 1 Commander Red, but energy cost 2 from your hand. Which that part activate main's really good, and the permanent's really good. The auto I don't care about because yes, the leader will benefit from you popping cards, but it says all of your Red Ribbon Army cards, and the leader only benefits from 1 time. It's a once per turn. So like if you pop all of them, you don't get 3 sand for as many cards you get.
Basically, that auto is a maintenance cost for a threat in an order. Where if you don't place all of your battle cards into the drop area, you lose that card.
Yeah.
So
that deck didn't naturally have it came up before as the deck's thing. So like, and this is when I played Jake when we did our history matchup, and my Z deck was really just Cell 21. So like, if you get this going, getting that 5k boost is really good, I think, and getting Commander Red on the board is phenomenal because Commander Red does help that. Because on play, he'll search the top 3 card of your deck to play a card. So the card you put on top of your deck, you can turn around and just play that card, which is pretty cool.
I'm just going to make this a blanket statement towards all these Z extra cards that we're talking about right now. They're all dog shit. None of them are good. Like, they're fine, but they're 4 archetypes that saw almost no traction whatsoever in the competitive sense, except for that U7 Goku. And I kind of agree with Nick. I don't know how beneficial that card is going to be to the overall archetype. Like, these cards, while they're pretty and they're neat, they're just really lackluster coming for archetypes that aren't great themselves.
Or they didn't really need the support that the card offers. Granted, yeah. I think a threat in order that one's decent because, remind me if I'm wrong, but Red Ribbon really had trouble popping its own cards, right?
You can just do it with the leader, and that's it, pretty much.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of neat, but all these other ones, like, they don't do anything to add to the strategy, I think.
No,
that's just weird.
Like Fluff said, they don't. I think it's cool to get support for those decks, but this is not game-changing support. It just helps the deck do a little bit better. And I haven't read all of them all the way through yet. So, and I know the Champa Beerus, we don't see that. We've never once seen that those leaders be anywhere in the top. And yes, this extra card will allow you to awaken when your life is 4 or less, so you're able to awaken earlier than you would normally be able to awaken. So I think you had to be like 2 or 3 life to awaken on those leaders for some reason. And then their abilities allow you to kind of just cheese out cards, which the leaders already do, I think. So
if I remember, Champa started with 4 life and it awoken at 2.
Yeah, and Beerus is 3.
Started at 5. No, Beerus started at 5 and it awakened at 4. So maybe it was one of those weird ones. But again, it doesn't do enough. Like,
no,
that I mean, and even the activate mains on them, you can read them, but like they just don't do enough to warrant playing the card in and of itself. Like, you'd rather spend 1 energy on literally anything else.
Super 17 is also a spirit boost mechanic. When one of your yellow Super 17 battle cards attacks, that card gets plus 6,000 power, which that card to active mode at the end of the turn, because one of them I think has blocker. I think the 8-drop has blocker. And then remove this card from gameplay up to 1/17 with original energy cost of 1 from your hand or drop. Then play up to 1 unison from your with 1 marker on it. Yeah, like that's a good recovery play for that deck. But once again, I think it doesn't add any extra power.
It's not enough. It's not enough recovery. 17 was such a chain-based deck that if you solved the top end, your opponent had to start all the way from the bottom. And this is just reestablishing the bottom for the same energy. It's not enough of a recovery play.
Yeah, I feel like to get the full value out of this, you would have to invest in it when you're ahead in order to benefit from it when you're behind. And I don't know if that's worth doing. You would just rather end the game with that 1 energy and 1 Z.
The Body and Soul allows you to take life, take up to 3 of your life, and then you can add 1 non-super combo. Son Goku Xeno card from your drop or warp to your hand, so it allows you to recover a piece. And then when a card from your warp is placed in your drop by your Son Goku Xeno only leader skill, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the owner's warp. There is no restriction to that. And then activate battle for burst 2. Remove this card from game. Choose up to 1 of your Son Goku Xeno cards. It gets plus 5,000 power and crit for the turn. I think that's the best of all 5.
Yep.
Yeah,
that would be. I would agree with
that one, followed by the final confirmation. And I think if you go any further, the threat, gourmet, battle, and energy absorption. But those last 3 are niches, I think.
Yeah, the Goku is clearly the best one. That because that deck's activate main was to put cards from the warp into the drop and draw a card. So
yeah,
just essentially adding a secondary leader effect on to pop something for free is everything. It's huge.
It's a very nice utility having that free warp a card on the field. You know, that's something the deck didn't have before. I think this shows the potential of what Z extra cards can potentially be in the future.
Yeah. And then, speaking of more type of championship cards, we did get the whole lineup of the 2023 Volume 3 stuff, which, like always, there's 5 unique cards and then a bunch of reprints. We got another Crown Retribution. I don't know if we needed a 4th printing of that card. Son Goku Vegeta Saiyan Energies, which I don't think we've gotten a reprint of that one, so that might be nice for some people to get, especially with the Gogeta deck coming out. Frieza Divine
I was going to say Saiyan Synergy and the Piccolo Jr. Eradicator apiece, to me, are the 2 hype reprints.
Yes, I will 100% agree with that, because there's actually, I think, the only 2 who have never gotten reprints of these, except for, Frieza, Majin Buu.
Saiyan Synergy got reprinted in the collector's volume, so it was very...
Okay.
So reprinted, but not very accessible.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that they're reprinting Secret ID after unbanning it.
Yeah.
And then Frieza Divine Transformation, if it has an alternate art and not just a little stamp on it, I'd be interested in picking those up. I like that card.
Because it got reprinted in the Fest, right?
Oh, I think it did.
Yeah, and so did Baby Unknown Parasite. We had a Fest version of that as well.
Basil's a cool card. 5-drop Boo. Yeah, some of these aren't bad.
Some of them aren't bad, but I do agree. I think Piccolo Jr., Son Goku Vegeta, I think are the best ones to grab from that pack if you're not trying to go for, obviously, the new cards, which is Kumber Extreme Offense, which is when this card is played, draw 1, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards. It gains Servant, which is the whole engine of that deck until the end of your opponent's turn. Auto, if your leader is Black Kumar card, when this card attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's cards with Servant's skill and use it as a combo. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is really good as a removal piece from your opponent. And then the activate main for 1 energy if your leader assume Kumber and you have a Fu card in play, you can play this card from your hand. So if for 1 energy you're playing a 7-drop that gives Servant to an opponent's card, and then you turn around and just combo that card off.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. I love this art. Majin Buu, Innocent Destruction.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite art in out of all these 5 and out of a lot of promos recently, honestly.
And this one is a triple strike permanent if your leader is yellow. I assume Boo and
Majin.
Yeah, Majin, thank you. And it's your opponent's turn. Reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand by 1, so it's a free 10k combo if you're playing that deck. Auto limit 1. If it's your turn, when this card in your hand is discarded by a skill of your leader's skill,
or a yellow Majin Buu card in your battle area, your leader gains the following skills at the end of your opponent's turn. Auto once per turn. When your yellow Majin card is played by a skill, this card gains plus 5,000 power for the turn.
Thank
That's
you.
kind of neat.
Thank you, Nick.
As a big boy gets a little bit bigger. And you can discard it from your leader skill to get effects.
It's a free combo.
Not bad, not bad.
I think a free 10k combo is always great. It's only during your opponent's turn, but having it as a defensive approach is nice.
It's a nice alternative top end for the Boo archetype.
Mm-hmm. Well, not just that, but doesn't that whole archetype based on you discarding cards and then giving the combo of that card to the card one of your goes on board? Yeah. So, next is Drum, Evil Henchman. Permanent if your leader is Green King Piccolo or Piccolo Jr. card, and it's in your.
It's your turn.
Yeah, if it's your turn. The card I'm reading, because it's so pixelated, it looks like it said it's your butt. I don't know why. But this card will gain Green Demon Clans will gain Barrier. Energy cost of 2 will gain Barrier, which I think is really good and something with this deck kind of needed as another layer of protection. I feel like any deck that free plays a chain that goes pretty wide, that does, like, I think Jiren, when Jiren got the 1-drop, this is yellow Jiren, got the 1-drop, I think it was a 1-drop that gave all the other like 1-drop or 2-drops in the deck Barrier. That felt really good.
Yeah. Kunshi, I think?
That was a deck Fluff played. I can't remember his name is though.
Yeah, and that was the problem with King Piccolo, Green King Piccolo, is only the 1-drop Piccolo had Barrier, so everything else was kind of squishy.
Yeah.
Just this giving more protection onto your cards just adds more of a threat. It's really nice.
Which will make it easier to play out like the Piccolo Jr. negate, because you have to have a Demon Clan on the board in order to free play it.
Yeah, it would really smooth that deck out. That's a pretty elegant way to do that, too.
And then the auto for 1 green energy. When this card is played, choose up to 1 green King Piccolo card with energy cost of 1 in your hand and shuffle your deck. Add up to 1 green Piccolo, energy cost of 1 from to your hand. Something like that.
Not bad. Yeah, these are all still kind of blurry. They're not. They've been shown.
Well, it just says it doesn't say where you grab the card from.
Yeah, that's just throwing me off.
So you can.
If it doesn't say,
like,
it's probably the field, right?
You grab it from the drop area, shuffle your deck.
It doesn't specify.
I imagine we will get an errata on that card.
Yeah,
specifying deck.
Yeah, and it would make no sense to grab it anywhere else and then still shuffle your deck.
Go over to the next card real quick. Baby Vegeta Golden Life Form. Deflect, Double Strike. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards. Place it at the bottom of the owner's deck.
Then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less, ignoring Barrier, and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck.
Thank you, Fluff. Which, really good. And for 2 energy, activate main. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, and you have a Brainwash, the Truffle...
Universal Tuffleization.
Yeah, is that the field card, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the battle area, you can play this card from hand. So this is really only good in the 1 Vegeta deck.
That's really good, though.
But it is really good.
It is pretty good.
The next one I think we kind of needed. The deck, I did enjoy this deck, but if you didn't see Paparoni, the deck just crumples. Like, you had to see this card. And there were games where I would play this deck and you would never see it. So getting additional Paparonis, I think, helps this deck. Once again, it's one of those cards where it won't make the deck like super good, but I think it's just great to give it the support that it needed. In this case, it is Paparoni Universe 3 Intellect Strategy. It's a lot of text. Activate main, limit 1. If you have 2 or more red Universe 3 cards in your energy?
I can't read this card. The text is too small.
Yeah.
I will also say trying to read these is like listening to the dyslexic kid in class trying to read off the chalkboard.
I was that kid. Leave me alone. But regardless,
it's a one-drop pepperoni.
And it also gives choose up to 1 red something. It gives it double strike for 1 energy as well.
Yeah, it's too blurry. There's too much text on that card.
But this is support that I like seeing. Now, once again, these are decks that aren't topping anywhere, which is good as well. So that way we're not giving decks that are just being naturally good already and giving them better support. So I do like seeing that. But that's my take on these championship cards. Like, nothing seems like it's game breaking, but they don't benefit the decks that are already in the meta, which I think is great. And they just help other decks kind of do a little bit better.
Yeah, and then some of the non-new cards in these packs are not bad either. So I don't think it's not a bad championship pack. And
then just kind of go over, I'm not going to, we've seen these to some degree on the Facebook page. One's been revealed already. But Event Pack 13, this is Zenkai EX stuff. There are 4 new cards in here that we haven't gotten already, if correct. One of them has been revealed already. It's the Glacius Awakening. The other one's a Veku. Another one's a Nappa. And then it'll be a Zamasu. And the Zamasu looks like it's for a yellow-green deck. We already know Gogeta's going to be a blue-yellow deck. And Broly is going to be a green-red deck. So whatever Nappa's for might be another multicolor deck. We're just not seeing it here. And this text is even smaller. I'm not even going to attempt to try and read that. But it looks like it gives something, I think, double strike. I think I saw, or it just ages. It's one or the other.
Something like that. Can I go on a small rant about Event Pack 13?
Sure.
Please.
This is the worst event pack we have gotten in a long time, depending on how good the 4 new cards are. If you just look at what we have, the Vegeta Resolve Renewed has been errated to not work with anything. Borgos, all 5 of the Cunnings, and Dark Death Ball and this Goten were all uncommons or less. They're either uncommon or common, so they weren't even at the rare rarity. Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan and Kami Global Unifier have been in event packs before, and it's better. Well, that's the fact that it's better art is subjective, but they've both been in event packs before and get printed all the time. Royal Condemnation is, I think, less than $5 on TCG Player. Same thing with this Gogeta Unison. So the only thing, like, if you have been playing the game a long time and you have all of this stuff, the only things you could hit out of these event packs that would bring you any kind of, like, enough money for a sandwich would be this Tyrannical Blow reprint and the Android 18 Measureless Strength. And everything else in here is so forgettable. The art isn't even good, but that's subjective.
And my assumption that the other 3 cards that are new as well, we haven't gone over, are going to be in this set, so you're not going to miss out on those.
Right. Because Glacial Awakening is in the set, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My assumption is that Veku's going to be in it too. We haven't seen blue-yellow reveals yet, but that would just be my guess since Broly's green-red.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Nappa and Zamas are also going to be. That Zamas is from the set 18.
Is it really yellow green?
No, it's got 2 green pips on it, so I think it's a new card.
Yeah, I think all 4 of those are new cards.
Okay,
at least those last 3.
Gotcha.
And touch base on the Royal Combination, we don't see that anymore in the Evoker decks. Like, that card is less and less used. And I think Jake, when you made your Evoker 17 deck, you did, I think, incorporate it to a degree.
Yeah, but it's not a incredibly sought after card. It's been printed a lot too.
Yeah. All right, these next 3 cards, I think 2 of the art look really good. I'm okay with the other one, but I love this Sense of Being art.
For the alt art card
set? Yeah. I don't know why it's just Kid Goku chasing after Senzu Bean. I think it's really funny.
I like the Senzu Bean art, but Senzu Bean is another one of those cards that has just been reprinted into the dirt.
Yes.
We have this is the 4th art and probably 8th reprint on Sensu Bean. And like the art is adorable. I can't take anything away from the art itself, but did we really need another Sensu Bean?
No, we did not.
Well, it at least has the correct text on it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. At least it does have that. But at the same time, those alt art sets, those are who gets those? Like top 8? So
yeah.
Or top 4? I mean, who cares at that point? Like, if we're being honest, like they could literally pick any cards for alt arts, and if it's only for like the top 4 to 5 players that win the regionals, who gives a shit what they are?
Top 16 will still get it.
Yeah, so I mean, they're more trophies than anything. I wouldn't classify
hands
them
down,
as tried and true reprints.
Yeah, and it's also Almighty Resistant and the SSB Vegeta, which was a promo only handed out really at the
pre-release.
No, was it pre-release?
Was Zenkai? Was it Zenkai Cup?
It was like the Zenkai preview event. Like, it wasn't like tried and true pre-release.
It was the preview event.
Yeah.
So those are.
I really like the Vegeta.
Yes. Like I said, I like the Goku and I like the Vegeta, and it's just Goku, so like it's all right. But those are the newer cards. And speaking of new stuff, kind of want to pivot a little bit. Not exactly sure what it's going to transit, but I know me and Fluff have been talking about things for the channel itself and kind of like a different approach. We don't. If you don't want to talk about this stuff, we won't talk about it. I'm talking about like just kind of our process about giving anything away.
Yeah, actually, I think there's a lot to be said. We don't have to go into like super big detail, but like one thing that I wanted to involve the community on is what are some types of content that you want to see that we're not doing, or if it is a piece of content that we are currently doing, how can we improve on it? What are things that you guys would like to see us do, implement, change, things like that? But yeah, go ahead.
I'll add to that. One thing with me and Fluff talked about, like, I know, like, Jake will talk about it. I've seen Jimmy talk about it. I've seen Nick talk about it. And I think, like, Fluff, you've been in conversation about it. I personally don't keep up with tournaments. I don't really care. I don't, like, oh, that top, cool, that's it. I don't look at those lists. I don't involve in those things. I don't really care about talking about those things. If it's something you want, we could probably work that in somehow. But I think I talked to Fluff about it, and you weren't really interested in doing that either, right?
No, my take on it is there are already Dragon Ball channels. Eggman, The Lookout, Crossworld, Joey Palladino. They already do reviews of like top placing decks and top 16s and stuff like that. And I just don't know that we have anything else to say about that. Like, it would kind of just be a regurgitation of information.
I feel like the best I would do with that is go a quick 1 minute video. All right, guys, this is what the last event was. First place is blah, second place is blah, third place blah 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 blah, and it goes to the very end. Like, all right, see you guys later. Like, and to me, there's nothing really to talk about there. Like Fluff said, it's already people. Eggman, for example, like he reaches out. Like I've seen him on Facebook, like he'll go, "Hey, I need XYZ. If you could get those to me, please." And he puts those on his own site as soon as possible for people to kind of check out and look at it. And I think that's great. But like Fluff said, we're just we don't feel like regurgitating that information that's already there.
Although I could understand people like wanting to hear multiple perspectives or multiple takes on the same information, but I could also understand people being like, no, like I really don't care. That's not what I watch you guys for.
And I feel like it's something in that instance before we go to more into other stuff is kind of like how you said it. There are people who like Eggman, Crossroads, like they've been doing it as long as we've been, I think, in the YouTube for our channel, and not once was that a thing we ever thought of. And they have spent these last few years perfecting how to get that information, how to lay that stuff out, and talk about that stuff. Where I'm not really interested in crossing that boundary.
or trying to take a stab at their content. One of the things that I feel like really draws people to our channel is we have such a rich diversity of character and personality. And I really feel like the channel needs to lean into that. The channel needs to like stop being this regimented machine of like, well, here's our locals and here's a couple deck profiles, and like start leaning into like people's personalities and letting the content flourish from that.
So with that being said, there's gonna be more things coming to the channel. It definitely won't be until after, like a few weeks after Gen Con, when we start getting things in motion and whatnot for it. But just unique projects that we'll start throwing up on the channel. Let us know when those occur, and we'll talk about it more for those kind of update videos. Like, hey, we're bringing this out this week. Check it out. Let us know what you think on those videos. Is this something you want to see more of? What do you think we could change on those things? And just kind of like, as I think how I used to say in the beginning of us doing this, we're a community. We used to put profiles up because I wanted to build. For me personally, I built archetype profiles, put those up because I thought those were fun. You know, they weren't meta breaking things, but I always loved when people would comment like, hey, you should change XYZ to this card instead. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And then from there, it's no longer, it's changing from an archetype to a more competitive build. But that's something that the community itself is coming together. Or even like when we do a competitive build, like I've had people comment like, you should change the ratios here and there, and just getting people's feedbacks is always great, because I will go back and try that out and see if that works for me, as a player.
We aren't, there's no one in our group that is like a hyperly competitive player. Any of us could invest the time and consistently top at large events, but we just aren't those players. And I don't mean that to take anything away from anyone that's in our group, but we just aren't those players. We're good, we're insightful, we know what we're talking about. We do fuck up from time to time, but that's part of what makes us human.
And what I'll say too is, the competitive scene is important to the health of the game itself, but there's a lot of people that play this game just for fun.
Yes.
And just to hang out with their friends. And I think that's what we lean into, and that's what we do. And I think that's important just because granted, having a hyperly competitive deck that wins a lot is cool, but at the end of the day, we are doing this to have fun with our friends and to hang out. So I think we specialize that, and I think we can do more stuff adding that type of content to add more of a sense of community to everybody.
And as a reminder, this is for you, Jake. We'll be bringing back black vlogs. I'll be doing a once a month thing for those. The first one will be, of course, our experience at Gen Con, and it won't just be the event itself. A lot of us will be there for a couple of days, so we'll probably have other things in that video that we'll be doing as well. And yeah, like if that's something you want to see more of as well, like how Fluff says, showcase more of our personalities. Of course, I will be videotaping the event itself, and maybe make that a separate video all on its own. Stuff like just the booths we go to, the vendors, because I'm not playing event every day. I'll be there all 4 days, but both my Thursday is probably my more or less go there and just explore day. I'm in an event on Friday. I'm in an event for Saturday, and then Sunday, I'm just gonna go there and hang out with my girlfriend and just have fun.
I'm looking forward to that, dude. Oh, sorry, Flo.
No, I think you were technically started first.
I was gonna say I'm really looking forward to that. I always enjoy the vlog content we have on here, and I know it's not necessarily the most popular, but I enjoy it because I'm in most of it, and it's like my friends, so it's kind of like I get a little 10-minute window of hanging out with people that already happened before.
They're my favorite things to watch back. If like I'm gonna sit and watch something from our own channel, it's gonna be the vlog content or just us shooting the shit or doing stuff like that. It's not gonna be the weekly game or anything like that.
I kind of want to bring back more stuff. Like I know it's not our niche, and that's fine. But I want to bring back more stuff like when me and Jim eat tot stuff. Like I thought that was unique, it's different. Or even we still haven't put up a video of us trying a certain G Fuel flavor. Nick, if you're down to try that flavor again, we can do that.
My body is ready.
And that being said, when we start doing more of this content, I will obviously we'll still be dedicating like 2 to 3 videos a week will be like, the duels, us kind of talking about the matchups and, getting our takes on those particular builds. But I want those to be a little bit more, because lately, this past weekend, Fluff made the comment, and he's right. Like, we're seeing a lot of the more consistent decks showing up more and more on the channel instead of more of the variety stuff. And that does fall into line of where I'm not building as much archetype stuff to throw every. I think this is the first set where I have not built every deck right off the bat, or we don't have every deck showcased from this set on the channel. And a lot of it breaks down to, I was fixing my pipes. They busted. I had to take care of that. Getting ready for Gen Con. Not really having time to just sit down and build stuff. So Blue Baby's on the channel.
What are we missing?
Red, we had Garlic. And what was the other red deck again?
Exactly. Nobody cares. We're good.
Powerball.
Yeah, we got Powerball. We do have Powerball on the channel.
Oh yeah, I have that deck and forgot it existed.
Yellow was. This is
Flip
bad. Flip Boys, which have on the channel.
Freeze Swap.
Which have on the channel.
That's definitely on. Yeah.
Green was Gohan and.
New Cell we have not shown.
New Cell's not on the channel. If I get one more promo, I'll build a deck. I only got one of the promos right now.
What are you looking for?
The Cell promo. If I get one more, I'll build a deck.
Oh yeah.
There was no
black.
Yeah, there was no black. It was just stuff to help boost other archetypes, which we put SSG Trunks on the channel. What was the other black support? Because it was more just that, wasn't it?
There was no black leader this set, I don't think.
Correct.
Wasn't it Kidku?
Was the Kiku stuff from this set? I thought that was the last set for some reason.
Yeah, Kidku stuff was older.
But still, like, they're still missing videos that, Cell, Elise, and Baby Ape. Or, sorry, Baby Vegeta.
I don't feel... Oob's been on the channel because I played Oob, and Adam played Oob.
Yeah, I think we have showcased Oob. I think.
Yeah, Oob's been showcased. I don't know if it's been profiled, but it's been showcased.
Yeah.
I don't.
Also was the other black stuff.
Yeah, okay. Shroom and Salsa.
So with all that kind of said, 2 to 3 matches will still be on the channel of us kind of talking about the matches, and I want to bring back more of a variety to that again, so that way it's not always like the same thing over and over and over. As I completely got lost track from earlier, I've had AOD built primarily for the last 2 months, and I think I've had it on the channel of those 2 months, at least 4 of those weeks I was on the channel with that deck, and just kind of
I've done the same with Trunks recently.
Yeah. But it's because
I've only been playing Majin Vegeta, and that's one of the reasons that I haven't wanted to be on the channel is I don't want it to be the same decks every week on the channel. Especially if it's the same matchups. Like every week, I feel like I get paired up against Jake, and it's a match where it's like Majin Vegeta versus Trunks Vegeta.
We should talk about our game. Well, I'll just say it. Like we got paired up again round 2 this week. And we sat down and had the same leaders, and I was like, do you care if I switch decks? I was like, dude, we've done this matchup so much. And he was like, please.
And with that being said, also, like, one profile weekend, and either it being some fun, kooky deck that I want to build just for build, or maybe, because I'm having fun, again, going back to older archetypes and kind of redoing those. And just having something different every week again. Just something showcase that we haven't seen on the channel in a while. Or maybe I'll just start going over all the deck profiles that we haven't touched base in the last 2 sets. Just to have them on the channel again. And then from that point on, that's being roughly 4 videos. The other 2 to 3 videos a week that we try to sprinkle in there will be one of these. And hopefully some newer stuff as well. just to see what you all think about that. And if those end up being successful, we'll push more into those type of videos. And if not, we'll die down or adjust the way we're doing that to make it more entertaining for you all. Like I said, as long as you as a community kind of helps us, we can bring you better entertainment.
Yeah, if you really want to do us a favor, on this video, comment what your favorite type of content to see from us is. And that would help us out. And we could kind of tally that up and, figure things out from there.
I'm also probably after Gen Con, I'm going to start writing community tab stuff. So I'll be doing surveys. I'll be doing
sweet
deck articles. I'll be doing tech articles and stuff like that.
You do like polls and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm going to start doing that probably after Gen Con.
I'm looking forward to that too. Sweet.
So yeah,
hellfire.
so with all that being said, thank you for tuning in. We're gonna kind of wrap it up now. And like Jake said, comment down below what's your favorite content from us, because if you made it this far, it means you're sticking with us because you enjoy who we are and what we try to bring you all, and we do appreciate that. But yeah, there's buttons, links. Do as they, do with stuff. It lets YouTube know we're here, and that's always important as well, because that's how they pass things around. But I think that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.